Hey gamers, it's me, LifeSpiller, and I'm back to do a new video. In this video, I wanted to talk about my completed games for 2016. Last year I was able to do 25. This year I almost did 20. I got close, only hit 19. So I wanted to run through this list of games that I completed, kind of give you an idea of what I played, what was interesting to me. I may even do a top 5 or something like that, I don't know, for the year or whatever. I'll just see. But let's go ahead and get into this list of games. So the first game that I actually completed early on in this year was Life is Strange, an awesome game by I believe it's by Telltale again. Is it by Telltale? Stars this character. Basically what ends up happening is that she finds out that she has the ability to rewind time, go back, make different decisions, create alternate routes within the universe, and change the face and dynamics of everything. And the way the game plays out is all at your whim or at your control. You pretty much have free range to do whatever you want, go back in time, make different decisions, but it gets to a point where all your decisions that you've made catch up with you. Even the little changes that you've gone back and made, and then you thought that you were rectifying situations or changing things, it ends up backfiring. I believe her name was Chloe, and her sidekick, I can't remember her name because it was early this year. And I'm gonna just be honest with you guys, I am terrible when it comes to names, but I will tell you this game comes highly recommended. So recommended that I bought the digital copy on the PS4 and also got the digital copy on PC. I'm probably gonna make my second run through it again maybe next year, I don't know, we'll see. Now the next game is Never Alone, another digital title. It stars this character who is in Alaska. I believe it's just an Eskimo, and sidekick is this dog. The reason why I was drawn to this game just because of the illustrations, the artwork, how the game looked, but I did not know the level of difficulty and frustration that would come with this game. I definitely rage quit on this game numerous times, put it down. If it wasn't a digital title, I probably would have flicked it out of a window, because as you progress through this game, there are dynamics in the game like snow elements, climbing large hills and all kinds of stuff, and it complicates the structure in the play out of this game. The good thing was I got this game cheap. It was one of the first digital titles that I saw for the PS4 when I was becoming interested in purchasing it last year. So I recommended it to myself and I picked it up. It's worth it, but just make sure you get the game on sale and play it out. I do like the cutscenes and the little clips that you find that are kind of on a National Geographic type level. So yeah, it's a good game, but it's got some elements that can frustrate the hell out of you. Now the next game that I completed was Diablo 3, the Reaper of Souls. I completed Diablo 3 and the expansion pack with the Reaper of Souls. Such an awesome experience. I actually beat this game almost twice this year, pretty much. I beat it on the PS4 and the PS3, or I'm on the PC. I actually streamed this game for about almost 3.5 hours. That was my longest stream, just to show my love and devotion for this game. I've made 3 characters for this game already. I completed it almost the second time on the PC. I got to the end, or close to the end. And then it's also got a seasonal type thing on the PC, which makes this game even more awesome. Basically, you're dealing with Diablo, going through the pits of hell. It's a top-down, awesome RPG. I don't never play online, but this is definitely one of those games where it plays to your benefit. Going through all these chambers of hell and all that. I mean, I was just blown away. The game is just so much fun, very addictive, very captivating. Just sucks you in, and then you don't want to do anything else but play this game. And that's what I did for about 2 months, I think, 2 or 3 months out of my life. And then when I got it on PC, I was just blown away. Now this next game that I recommend, or that I completed, I'm saying recommend, that I completed was Murder Soul Suspect for the PS4. I repeat, I did not like this title for the PS3. The controls, the glitches, it was broken. on day one, and I hated it. I picked it up for the PS4. It was a lot more smooth. It basically stars this cop who gets murdered in the beginning of the game, and then through an alternate universe, he's able to still be in a physical presence where people can't see him, but you can. And in the midst of it, it's got a detective feel to it. I did a stream on this game as well. This game is phenomenal as far as the detective work that you got to do in order to resolve or solve your case, but along the way you're solving cases of other people. So I would definitely recommend this game, but for the PS4, the Xbox, PC, or whatever. How can I describe this game? The next game, Undertale. Undertale is one of those titles that I did not expect to even bump into for the PC. This game takes you right back in the depths of the old school feel, retro feel, very basic with the graphics, does the text on the screen. It's one of those games that is hard to explain. You can go through the entire game of not killing anyone, which I did, and it was very rewarding, very fun. I'm trying to remember. It's an RPG type game. It really was fun. That's all I can say about it. Yeah, Undertale, definitely recommend. The next game I got to play was Everybody's Gone After the Rapture. I did a review of this game. If you haven't had a chance to play it, do not get it unless you get it real cheap. It basically stars this character. Everybody's gone at this point. Everybody's gone. That's why it's called After the Rapture. If you don't know nothing, it's kind of has that biblical themes. The rapture is basically along the lines of if Jesus came back and then folks were left behind. I don't know if they play on the Jesus theme, but they basically play on the theme of lives already being snatched up or gone. And what you are walking into is the memory of those that are still left. So you are basically putting together a storyline. The part about this game that I didn't like, there was no navigation, there was no map, there was no real directional type flow. The new term that was used for 2016, that is probably going to be used even more so in 2017, because I see games doing this, especially the indie companies, walking simulator. Mainly because there are no enemies, no bosses, no threats. You don't die on this game. You just have to pick it up and follow your own way and do your own thing in this game. So yeah, that's my thoughts about that game. Now, surprisingly enough, I've had this game for years, for the PS3. I got I think it's the Drake's Collection. I had it, but I don't have it anymore. It had 1, 2, and 3 of Uncharted. I've never beat part 1. Part 1 I got like probably more than 70% through. When I started playing it again, I realized how far I actually had gone through the title. But this was a great way to introduce the PS3 and its graphical limit, maximum, whatever. It just showed you all these things that it could do and beyond. And I think I was more fascinated with the water when I first got my PS3. But this definitely starts off the beginning of a great trilogy, I should say that. So it was a great trilogy, a great ride, very, very, very captivating, awesome way to introduce all the characters, Sully, Chloe, Drake himself, just taking you on this ride. He, of course, has the Indiana Jones feel to it. And that moves me right into the next one, which was Uncharted 2. I never finished that one either until now. And so it was crazy. Like I described it, I loved it from the very get-go, from the trailer to the release of the game, but I never completed it. There was parts that I would get stuck, especially with the shooters. I've managed to get better with shooting games, especially third-person shooter. This game did not frustrate me at all. It was a very smooth transitional type game, seamlessly transitioned from part 1 to part 2, leading you on to the next adventure of his life. And these games are just great. If you haven't picked up 1 through 4, I would highly recommend you do that. The next one I would consider it, was it, and I don't know why I didn't put it down. I guess I should have, but I think I beat it last year. I can't remember. It was Saints Row 4 and Gat Out of Hell. Two awesome games. I prefer Saints Row 3 out of the 4 games. But Gat Out of Hell was really, really awesome. Of course, you go to hell, you fight Satan. For you that are very religious, you might not even want to play along these themes. But it is awesome. He does get wings. He's able to travel. Elements they took out that I really was kind of tossed to the left about was the fact that they took the music out. No music. None whatsoever. So no songs, no radio. I don't know if they get proper licensing or anything, or they just decided that this is what they were going to do with it, but it just, I don't know. But the game still turned out to be a good, just because I know that I'm a Saints Row fan, so I think I already had a biased standpoint when this came out, so I was already going to love it anyway regardless. It's very short, which is Gat Out of Hell. Gat Out of Hell is real short. It's only probably about 5 hours or something like that. I managed to get through that, and so is Saints Row 4. That's another awesome title, worthy of playing. It's a little weird that they did take certain elements out with Saints Row 4. They gave you all your powers kind of on a quick base, and that threw me off. I felt like Superman day one, instead of developing and be going through the child, teenage, adulthood and developing the powers. You just kind of like almost automatically were granted all your wishes at once, so that took away from it. But it's still recommended. I definitely would recommend getting that. Those 2 great games that I completed as well. And then this is another game that I did do a full stream of to completion, from the Mega Man Legends, I think it is, where it's got Mega Man 1 through 7 in it. For the PS4 and the Xbox One, and that was Mega Man 2. I enjoyed that to completion. I did a full playthrough from the beginning. It took me about an hour to complete the entire game. Had fun with it. I love it. You know how much I love Mega Man, the series, just the games, and all kinds of stuff. I'm actually going to start moving towards buying more memorabilia for Mega Man. For Mega Man, for God of War. Some of my other favorite series like GTA, because those are just my favorite, and maybe start buying shirts, posters, toys, whatever for those things. But you know my big love for Mega Man 2. What can I say about a game that I've loved since I was 12 years old? So that was over 25 years ago, 25, 26 years ago. So yeah, I'm still in love with the game, still have fun with it. It's incredible, just incredible. The next game that I beat was The Wolf Among Us. This actually plays along the themes of the Land of Fairy Tales. You got The Wolf Among Us, you got the Big Bad Wolf, which is him, you got the pigs, you got I think you got Mother Goose. So it's a lot of characters that we grew up reading about that is ironically played throughout this video game. And it stars the Big Bad Wolf. He's a cop, and he's basically doing the whole thing that I love. He's a detective. He's solving other cases. He's able to make moral decisions that play out and change the dynamics of the game. It's another Telltale game, so there's a 5-chapter type thing. Great experience. I would recommend it on the PS4 as well, because the other versions of the game don't play out as well. This game was real buggy. And this is only from what I heard on the PS3 and the Vita. So I would highly recommend you getting it on the PS4. I definitely had a lot of fun with this game. This game sucked me in right away. I think I went through 3 chapters within the first few days. So I really got sucked into this game. So you're basically trying to figure out, I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. I think you're trying to find out who murdered Snow White, and there's all these characters that play out in the entire game where they do some really great writing. They do the whole thing of making you believe that this person did it or this person did it just because of circumstantial evidence that's pointing at this person, but then when you come to find out towards the end, it ain't that person. So it's a really good game. This is another game that I slept on, no pun intended. It was Sleeping Dogs for the PS4. I did not like the controls. I felt like they were too clunky on the PS3. They used to drive me crazy. When I would mash on buttons or smash on the buttons, it would not work, and it frustrated me to no fucking end. I was like, oh my god, why is it not working? This is so retarded. It's driving me crazy, especially like on the dance area, or when you had like 5 or 6 dudes trying to battle you out in the streets or on the rooftops. I'm over here mashing the buttons, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and then it wouldn't respond. None of those issues in PS4. I simply love this game. It's from one of my other favorite series, the true crime series, Streets of New York, or Streets of LA, Streets of New York. I think it was originally gonna be Streets of Tokyo or something like that, but they went with the sleeping dog theme, and this game is phenomenal. I had the Definitive Edition, so it came with the DLC. The DLC was okay, but it was too repetitive. But I did like the driving, I liked the car simulation, played out real smooth. I could speed on the motorcycle, I could do all kinds of tricks, the boats, all kinds of stuff was just awesome and phenomenal. He's a cop who basically goes undercover yet again. Detective cop situation. You know, I love these games. As you can see, there's a common theme with all these games that I'm playing. They're detectives or they're cops, and he goes deep undercover for like this, was it like a Japanese mafia type thing, and he goes really deep undercover to the point where he becomes family, and they look at him not as a cop but as family. You're in this gang with us. He works his way up the ranks. This game is really good, so definitely pick it up. It's Sleeping Dogs. Now, a game I'm surprised I played, because I had just felt like, really, after Assassin's Creed Revelations, I was done. I think this might be the final nail in the coffin. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I skipped over Black Flag. I played it, put it in, and I took it right back because it was dealing with the ships, and I didn't like that whole, no, I didn't like that. Unity, because of just bad publicity and all the mayhem and shit it went through, I ducked out of that one. So I did pick up Syndicate because they got it cheap on sale one day. I think I got it for $20 when it was I got it brand new for $20 on a sale. I played through it. Eva and I forgot her brother. Like I said, I'm terrible with names. It was a really good game. I just wish they would have dived more into their story. How did they meet? Or I think they were siblings. I can't remember where they were, fraternal twins. But they didn't give you enough to go by. Basically, you just went through London conquering territories, and these two had so much power that they eventually took over everything. It was about liberation and freeing all these people and just giving them this experience. So yeah, but overall it was a good game. I would recommend getting it at a, right now it's at a decent price. It's probably under $20, so definitely pick it up now. Game that I've been enjoying that I've completed was Ratchet and Clank. I can't remember if I beat the first one on the PS2 or not. My memory probably won't serve me well or not on it, but this game is so colorful, vivid, it plays out perfectly. I'm damn near 9 or a 10 out of 10 for this Ratchet and Clank remake. I went back and looked at the PS2 version. Oh my god, just all the different planets, the weapons, you have so much fun, the cutscenes, the characters, just everything, all things. There's a little bit of challenge, puzzles here and there, which is fine because I like it for the brain work, just to get you think a little bit, play a little bit. But yeah, I had fun with the races, I had fun with the challenges and stuff like that. But this, I've always loved the Ratchet and Clank series, so yeah. Now the next game that I want to talk about was Mafia 3, an awesome experience that I went through in the 60s with Clay. I did a review of the game. That's how much I enjoyed it. I gave you my overall view of it and how I felt about it, and this game actually turned out to be a really awesome title. The only big issue was the bugs. There was a lot of them. I had a couple crashes in it, but the storyline overall was a great storyline. stars Clay. Basically, he comes back from the military. He comes back to Louisiana, and he goes through this whole ordeal where he's just thrust into some real life experiences, and he's got to make money. He's got to make it fast. So he hooks up with all the wrong people in the right places to be able to give him the money, get the money that he needs in order to do the deeds that he needs to get done. And he moves up the ranking, become basically like this powerful dude. But the story is really written well, and the facial features in this game that they use, like the technology, is awesome. So it brings the whole thing to light and brings everything to life in the game. So you overall have this really great experience. So if you can just overlook all the little things and just look at the big picture of the story that it's telling, the music, the soundtrack was phenomenal, very mind-blowing. So I would definitely recommend this game. I'm glad I got to play it to completion. And the last game that I completed for the year was Final Fantasy 15. I had no expectations on this game. This was my second Final Fantasy game I played. My first experience was a bad one with Final Fantasy 13. Put in more than 50-60 hours on that game. This one I put in over 60 hours just because of the vast world. The magnitude of this game is so large. One of the first gripes that I ran into was traveling with the vehicle. It did have fast travel, but the weird thing is they incorporated this element of cruise control, which was kind of retarded, unless you had already been to that destination and you can do fast travel. But as you progress through the game, it got a little bit easier. I started to find out little tricks to be able to just point and click to certain destinations beyond quest and just go to that map location with no issues and stuff like that. So overall it was great, but the bosses was phenomenal. The landscape and the magnitude of these bosses were so large, and you overall get to see the development or the evolution of Noctis and his buddies, Promptu and Gladius and Ignis. And they add in, or they incorporate, this realistic element amongst the guys, where you get to see a great divide amongst them. You get to see anger, you get to see all these real emotion, raw emotions. They all experience some sort of turmoil, and if you play things out right and if you let the story go the way it should go, you start to see them just be very candid and open about their own insecurities and things that they're going through. So that's kind of where the story took off for me. That was kind of surprising that they even went in that realm, because most of the times they just play this robotic realm of keeping the game linear and leaving you in this place. The game felt short to me. I don't know. I mean, I know 50-60 hours is a long time, but I guess with a Final Fantasy game, I guess I thought it was going to be longer. Not that it was a bad thing, but I also at the same time I felt like it could have been longer. I don't know. I thought it was going to be 100 hours, but I did complete a lot of side quests. I did put in a lot of time. I did enjoy this game. I would highly recommend this game. It's worth a playthrough. Hell, another playthrough. But those are all my games for 2016 that I've completed. Tell me what games you completed this year, what games you enjoyed, what are you looking forward to in 2017. Other than that, I'm LifeSpiller. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. As always, I'm out.